Close your eyes, just for a moment, and feel the silence within your own chest. Can you sense it? That subtle emptiness, a quiet ache, a feeling that something essential, has been missing. Perhaps you've carried this sensation for years. A gentle, persistent whisper deep inside, asking, why does life sometimes feel so heavy? Why, even after so many prayers, so many affirmations, so many intentions, does it still feel like the universe isn't listening? Maybe you found yourself wondering, am I doing something wrong? You visualize, you meditate, you ask, and yet the answers seem delayed, the signs seem faint, the manifestations distant, and slowly, quietly, a shadow grows, the shadow of doubt. Doubt about yourself, doubt about the universe, doubt about whether you are truly connected or simply forgotten. But what if I told you the problem was never you? What if this sense of separation, this silence from the universe, is not real? What if it's an illusion, a biological illusion, wired into your very cells, a misinterpretation, deeply rooted in the very system that's supposed to protect you, but has unknowingly been keeping you small, disconnected, out of alignment with the source? Bruce Lipton, one of the greatest voices in the field of epigenetics, has revealed something extraordinary, something that could change everything you believe about yourself and about your ability to connect with the universe. He explains that 95% of what you think, feel, choose, and attract is not coming from your conscious desires. It's coming from unconscious programs. Programs of survival, programs of fear, programs of scarcity, old emotional recordings that were never yours to begin with, but were written into your subconscious, long before you even understood what life was. And here lies the greatest paradox of modern spirituality. People are desperately trying to manifest their dreams, speaking words of abundance, repeating affirmations of love, declaring intentions of peace, but beneath the surface, their emotional frequency remains entangled in fear, in lack, in unworthiness. And the universe, the quantum field, is not responding to their words. It never was. It is responding to their frequency. Greg Braden, another pioneer in bridging science and spirituality, reminds us, the field does not hear what you say. It hears what you are. It listens, not to the conscious voice in your mind, but to the silent language of your emotions, the resonance of your heart, the coherence of your energy. And here, a question arises, a question so powerful that it alone could unlock the truth you've been seeking. If the universe is responding to your vibration, then who, truly, is vibrating? Is it the version of you who wants change, or the unconscious self, who still fears, still doubts, still carries the weight of old stories? This is not about blame. This is not your fault. It is biology. It is the nervous system doing what it was programmed to do. It is the survival brain trying and failing to create in a universe that responds not to stress, but to coherence, not to fear, but to alignment, not to struggle, but to frequency. And that is why this conversation matters. Because today, we begin a journey, not of wishing harder, not of forcing the universe to respond, but of remembering how to align, biologically, emotionally, and spiritually, with the source. Today, you will discover 5 powerful ways, rooted in science, spirit, and truth, to stop asking the universe in ways that don't work, and finally start connecting with it in the way you were always designed to. There is something profoundly painful, yet almost invisible, happening inside so many people who are on a spiritual path. They speak of abundance. They whisper desires for love, healing, and peace. They write intentions. They light candles. They repeat mantras. But beneath all these words, beneath all these rituals, their body, their biology, is speaking a very different language. Bruce Lipton reminds us that the human brain, conditioned over millions of years of survival, is biologically wired to scan for danger, to anticipate loss, to expect scarcity. It's not because you are negative. It's not because you are broken. It's because your subconscious mind is still running the ancient programs of fear. Programs inherited from your family, from your past, from collective humanity itself. And here's the uncomfortable truth, yet the liberating truth. When you say, I want abundance, but deep down, your nervous system is vibrating in fear of not having enough. The universe doesn't respond to the words, it responds to the frequency. When you affirm, I am loved, but inside, you still carry the vibration of abandonment. The field doesn't hear the affirmation, it hears the wound. Greg Braden shares something that cuts through the noise of spiritual cliches. The field, the quantum intelligence that shapes reality, is not a cosmic wish list. It's a mirror, a living, breathing mirror, reflecting not what you consciously wish for, but what you emotionally expect. And expectation is not a thought. It's a frequency, deeply encoded in the language of your emotions, your heartbeat, your hormonal chemistry, your very breath. This is why, despite years of vision boards, endless affirmations, and countless spiritual books, so many still feel stuck. Because when your conscious desire collides with an unconscious program, the one that holds the most energy always wins. And the subconscious is 1,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. It's not your fault. It was never your fault. You were simply never taught that the real communication with the universe doesn't happen through words or wishes, but through the electromagnetic broadcast of your entire being. This is the invisible mistake, the tragic misunderstanding, believing that asking is about speaking, when in truth, asking is about being, about embodying the frequency of what you desire long before it arrives. There is something breathtaking, almost mystical, about the way your body was designed. A design so intricate, so intentional, that it turns you into a living antenna, a biological transmitter of energy, frequency, and information. And yet, so few truly understand that their physical body is not separate from their spiritual reality. It is the bridge, it is the messenger, it is the voice the universe listens to. Bruce Lipton's work in epigenetics reveals a truth that changes everything. Your genes are not your destiny. Your DNA does not control your life. What controls your genes? What decides which genes are activated or silenced is your internal environment. Not just the food you eat, not just the air you breathe, but the emotions you feel, the beliefs you hold, the thoughts you repeat. Every moment, every feeling, every perception sends biochemical signals that literally shape the expression of your genes, your health, your energy, your vibration. And then there is the heart, the magnificent heart. Science now knows that your heart is not just a pump. It is a powerful electromagnetic generator. In fact, the electromagnetic field of your heart is 60 times stronger than the one produced by your brain. This is not poetry. This is physics. This is the language of the universe. When you feel emotions like gratitude, love, compassion, appreciation, your heart moves into coherence, and this coherent electromagnetic field is not just felt inside your body, it radiates outward, into the space around you, into the quantum field, into the invisible fabric of reality, where possibilities become form. This is why emotions are not just feelings, they are commands. They are frequencies that instruct the field, that shape the hologram of your life. Gratitude is not just a spiritual practice, it is an electromagnetic signal that says to the universe, this is real, this is who I am, this is what I'm ready to experience. Bruce Lipton's research confirms, your body is not a passive observer in this reality. It is an active participant, a living, breathing biofeedback device, sending and receiving vibrations in every second of every day. Your cells are listening, your heart is broadcasting, your nervous system is translating invisible energies into biological reality. And here lies the profound realization. The way you speak to the universe is not through begging, not through hoping, not through wishing. It is through becoming the frequency of what you desire. Your body is the prayer. Your emotions are the words. Your coherence is the language the universe never, ever ignores. There is a moment, subtle, almost imperceptible, when wanting becomes resistance, when the very effort to attract becomes the barrier. A paradox so delicate, yet so powerful, that it silently sabotages the desires of even the most devoted seekers. You see, the moment desire is wrapped in anxiety, the moment it carries the vibration of urgency, it shifts out of creation and falls into survival. And survival is not the language of the universe, it's the language of separation, of fear, of the old brain, still trapped in the belief that life is something to fight for, rather than something to flow with. Gregg Braden teaches this with absolute clarity. The field does not respond to the intensity of your desire. It does not react to how badly you want something. It does not hear the desperate whisper of, "Please let it happen." The field listens to one thing, and one thing only: emotional certainty, the embodied frequency of "it is done," the calm knowing, the inner resonance that what you seek already exists, and you are already aligned with it. This is why those who seem to effortlessly attract miracles often aren't trying. They're not forcing. They're not obsessed with the outcome. They are living, breathing, embodying the frequency of trust, of surrender, of coherence. Because the truth is, the more you try to force the field, the more it mirrors back the vibration of trying, not having, trying. The more you chase, the more reality responds with distance. The more you control, the more the field reflects the energy of resistance. And yet, surrender is not giving up. It's not passivity. It's not pretending you don't care. Surrender is the ultimate alignment. It is the moment when you release the fight, the grasp, the tension, and return to the natural coherence between heart, mind, and body. This is the paradox that few are willing to accept. Manifestation is not about thinking harder, visualizing longer, or wanting more intensely. It is about becoming so energetically coherent, so emotionally aligned, that the field has no choice but to reflect your inner reality back to you. When the noise of desperation fades, when the static of control dissolves, what remains is the pure signal of creation, a frequency so clear, so powerful, that the universe cannot help but respond. There is a doorway, quiet, invisible, yet always waiting, between you and the reality you long to create. And that doorway is coherence, a sacred alignment between your brain, your heart, your nervous system, and the quantum field that surrounds you. The first step is to step out of survival, because as long as your nervous system is trapped in beta waves, in hypervigilance, in the biochemical noise of stress, the door remains closed. This is not just spiritual poetry. This is neurobiology. Breath, slow, deep, rhythmic, is the ancient key. Because when you breathe consciously, when you lengthen the exhale, you shift your brain out of the high-frequency chaos of beta into the calm, open space of alpha, and even deeper, into theta. The body softens, the mind quiets, the electromagnetic static begins to dissolve. Then, the second step, and here is where the real magic happens. It's not about feeling any emotion, it's about activating very specific frequencies that the heart recognizes and the field responds to. Gratitude, appreciation, love, not for something that has happened, but gratitude, as if it has already happened. Appreciation for the unseen reality that you are choosing to embody now. This is more than visualization. It is biological entrainment, because when you feel gratitude, even without a reason, your heart moves into perfect coherence. Its electromagnetic signal becomes stable, powerful, and precise, and the quantum field listens. The third step is embodiment, not watching your desire like a movie on a screen, but stepping into it as if it is already your life. Feel the textures, the sounds, the weight of it in your body. Sense the version of yourself who is already living it, breathing it, being it. Let your cells believe, let your nervous system believe that this reality is already true. Neuroscience shows that when the brain and body enter this state, synaptic patterns change, hormonal signals shift, the electromagnetic field becomes organized, coherent, expansive. In as little as 5 minutes, the body stops reacting to the past and starts broadcasting the frequency of the future. This is not a ritual to please the universe. This is the sacred act of remembering that you are the universe, communicating with itself. And when your biology, your emotions, and your energy become one coherent signal, reality has no choice but to rearrange itself in response. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a garden, a living, breathing ecosystem, where every thought is a seed, every belief is a root, every emotion is the water that nourishes it, and your biology is the fertile soil where it all grows. This is not just a poetic image. It is the most accurate description of how your reality is formed. Bruce Lipton reminds us that no matter how many seeds of abundance you plant, if the soil of your subconscious is filled with the weeds of fear, of scarcity, of unworthiness, those seeds cannot grow. They suffocate, they decay, because the soil, the vibrational foundation, does not support them. And this is where so many unknowingly fall into despair. They stand above the garden, desperately throwing more seeds, more affirmations, more intentions, more prayers, hoping that somehow something will grow. But beneath the surface, the roots of old wounds, old programs, old traumas, continue to dominate the landscape of the subconscious. The quantum field, like the soil, does not judge. It does not say, this is a good seed, or this is a bad one. It simply reflects, it mirrors, it brings into form whatever is consistently planted, nourished, and sustained by the emotional water you pour into it every single day. Gregg Braden speaks to this truth with crystalline clarity. Reality is not something happening to you. It is something responding through you. It is the reflection of the emotional and energetic ecosystem you cultivate within. This is why the painful pattern repeats. Not because you are cursed, not because the universe has denied you, but because the garden of the mind was never tended. The weeds of doubt, the thorns of unworthiness, the shadows of fear were never removed. And so, no matter how beautiful the seed, it could not grow. This is not a punishment. It is not a failure. It is a sacred invitation. An invitation to stop chasing flowers and start healing the soil, to stop demanding fruit and begin nurturing the roots. Because the truth is, the universe is not withholding from you. It is waiting, patiently, lovingly, for the moment when the internal environment finally becomes coherent, fertile, aligned. And when that moment comes, the seeds you plant will not only grow, they will flourish with a speed and grace that once seemed impossible. There is a moment, quiet, sacred, when a truth rises from within, a truth so simple and yet so forgotten that it feels like remembering something ancient, something your soul has always known. You are not disconnected. You have never been disconnected. You have only been out of tune. Bruce Lipton's work unveils this with absolute clarity. The sensation of separation, the belief that you are alone, unheard, unseen by the universe, is not a spiritual truth. It is a biological error, a glitch in the nervous system, a misunderstanding written into the body by generations of survival, trauma, and unconscious programming. Gregg Braden echoes this revelation. The universe is not some distant force. It is a mirror, a living, breathing field of intelligence that responds instantly, directly, and precisely to the coherence within you. It does not judge, it does not delay, it does not ignore. It reflects, without distortion, the frequency you hold. And here, perhaps the most profound realization of all emerges. You are not asking the universe and for anything. You are not praying to something outside of you. You are the universe, asking itself. You are the field, speaking, listening, responding, through the vessel of your own being. You are the wave and the ocean, the question and the answer. This journey was never about desiring harder. It was never about forcing the world to bend to your will. It has always been about becoming biologically, emotionally, energetically compatible with the life you were born to live, with the frequency of the reality that already exists within the quantum field, waiting for you to match it. And so, perhaps now, there is only one question left, one question that lingers, that vibrates, that echoes through every cell of your body, through every breath, every heartbeat. If everything in the quantum field responds to your frequency, then who must you become now to be heard by the source?